All right, hello everyone. It's Casey here on my YouTube channel, The Astrologini. I would like to do this video on the Cancer full moon that is happening right now. Full moons are basically about getting in touch with your subconscious patterns and learning how to let go or release what no longer serves us. It's a point of culmination as well and full illumination. It can be a good time to celebrate things because of that reason. But it's also a time of reviewing that what doesn't serve us and what needs to be released, and letting things go that's no longer serving us. So full moons help us with clarity and realizations as well. It's a good time to meditate and reflect on things. And full moons kind of amplify things. The emotional intensity, it gets stronger for better or for worse. It just depends on how well balanced we are during this time, because the sun and moon are in opposition to create a full moon. And it's in Cancer, and Cancer represents the home, the family, our maternal instincts. Most specifically, it has to do with the mother, as it relates to family, but it governs over our roots and even our psychological origins, and our homeland as well. Cancer is a very caring sign, so it has to do with a lot of what we really care about. And Cancer is, so this energy is being fully illuminated at this time. Cancers do want everything and everyone to kind of feel familiar. They're cardinal water. So they're a cardinal water sign. So they kind of project and direct their emotions onto things and people. So in a way, they kind of can, I guess you can say they kind of manipulate themselves onto people, on things. Like, they kind of cling, to things and people. They want you to feel like home to them. They want everything to feel familiar, and what I'm seeing in this full moon chart with what's going on with this full moon is that we might be, it might be a little hard to let go of what's familiar right now, with all these oppositions to the Sun, Venus, and Mars in Capricorn. So if we're kind of not emotionally invested right now with our New Year's resolutions, that's okay, actually, because we need to kind of feel in the flow with them a little bit more deeply. With the moon here, the full moon, it's close enough to Jupiter, that's retrograde in Cancer. So it's in conjunction to Jupiter retrograde. So these intensified emotions in Cancer, which Cancer also is ruled by the moon, so it's really even almost like a bigger amplification of moon energy, is that with the Jupiter retrograde, we're really reevaluating our belief systems and our morals and our hopes and our expectations and our faith, our visions, the way we see the world from an internal source. That's what retrogrades are, from an inward source. So we're really kind of reevaluating these intensified emotions, reflecting that right now. And it's opposing the Sun, Venus, and Mars. So Venus is all about what it is that we love in life, our pleasures, whether it's food or substance, music, whatever it is. So we may be struggling to come into balance with giving those temptations up. And then Mars is about our actions and our motivations and our drive. And, Capricorn is a very disciplinarian sign. Capricorn actually governs over government and establishments and structures and institutions and all that, anything that is authority. And Cancer is the homeland. I don't really pay much attention to politics, but I do know that there was they started bombing Venezuela, and Mars represents God of war. So, and it was something that was opposing what our homeland was. There was an action taking place that the government took action on, that was opposite of our homeland. I guess it had something to do with us too, but I don't really pay much attention to politics. But the Mars is the god of war, and that's where, I guess, bombs were being dropped, that was opposing this full moon and where Jupiter is. So that's interesting. But anyway, how it's affecting us more collectively is, like, if we're not really aligned with our New Year's resolutions, that's fine. I made a video that the real New Year is not happening right now anyway. It's actually at Aries, when the sun enters Aries in April 1st, April Fool's Day. I made a video on it. I won't get involved. I won't really involve myself in talking about this. I had just made a video on that the other day. And the calendar, the Gregorian calendar years, that we celebrate New Year's, it's more of a man-made calendar for taxes and, the government, Capricorn. It's not in tune with natural time, which is what astrology is. So anyway, this opposition, if you're not feeling super emotionally invested with being motivated at Mars, within your consciousness at the sun, and the things that you love, coming into balance of giving these things up right now, that's okay. It'll make more sense. It'll be more harmonized when we get to the new moon in Capricorn, because Capricorn is about responsibility and discipline and ambition, and the new moon is about seeding new intentions. So around the 18th, it'll make more sense to kind of move forward with what our New Year's resolutions were, our goals and our plans. Right now, we're in the middle of kind of putting all this up for a review in our belief system, and our, having a hard time letting go of what's familiar at Cancer, and the things that we do, the things that we love, the pleasures that we have, and then taking action and being responsible and disciplined. Cancer is very much about the familiar and the comforts of their emotional security. And we're just right now, we're learning to kind of balance out more of the material security. There's a balance between emotional and material security that we're trying to come in and align with our actions, our spirit and consciousness, and our attachments and our attractions, our senses, Venus. So it's very, we're very much in the stage of learning how to balance this right now. So we're kind of working on the review of how to do this, and how to give up the familiar. And it may kind of feel a little difficult, or not, you're not really, like I said, emotionally invested. It's being emotionally intensified here with the moon, this full moon being illuminated in Cancer. However, with all this Capricorn energy, if you are a disciplined person, and you are very ambitious, and you're doing all the full moon rituals, you can really tap into getting a firm balance on, what it is that you want to take action on and give up, and, go towards those New Year's resolutions and start doing. especially one aspect that's actually helpful for this, that I think is also a really good aspect, is the trine to the North Node in Pisces and the sextile to the South Node in Virgo. And the sextile to the South Node in Virgo is kind of giving us this open lines of communication with our past, gaining more clarity with our past and what it is that we have to let go and leave behind. And the trine to the North Node is this is more about the future and the progression of direction of flow. And so by getting this clear communication with our past, this opportunity that we have for clarity with our past, it can really help us move into this Piscean North Node evolution, which is where we kind of ground this higher purpose of Virgo into the higher consciousness of Pisces, where, with the nodes here that have been going on for, I think, a little over a year now, some of our rituals and routines and our self-improvement and our health, our health routines and stuff, we may be slowly kind of learning to let go of the control of that and into a more intuitive, higher understanding of spirituality, to help balance us out, to not be so super harsh on ourselves and others, with our ritual and our routine and our health. And, it's kind of been a little exhausting keeping up with all of that, and, just learning to feel a little more comfortable with the fate in the universe and the higher consciousness, and tapping more into something more spiritual, that helps us not be so regimented to the routines and the grounding of the everyday rituals of our health practices. So they're now, that we have a clear line of communication to help us kind of jump into a different timeline. Like this is really helping us evolve into a better direction of flow here. With the trine, it's harmonizing towards the higher consciousness, and that our sense of higher purpose in our past, related to our past, is we're getting these answers that we need in order to move forward and to come into balance with our ambitions and our aims and our goals and our aspirations and the achievements that we want to accomplish at all this Capricorn energy. So don't feel too bad on yourself if you're not really just in the mood or in the feeling of really aligning yourself to your goals and the actions that you want to have aligned with your goals, and giving things up. Because right now we're kind of feeling that strong pull towards the familiar, and we're reevaluating everything that we believe and what we got to give up right now for the next 2 weeks or so. And by the time the new moon in Capricorn comes into play, that should actually help. We should have the clarity that we need by coming into balance and giving up the things that we need that are familiar with that are more aligned with our beliefs in Cancer, because Jupiter governs over our beliefs, to move into that direction of our goals and our ambitions at Capricorn. So the new moon in Capricorn coming up will be a good launch for all of that. But right now we gotta just be in a state of balance and letting our emotions, feeling in and feeling through our emotions and what's familiar, and really getting in touch with tapping into learning the process of letting those things go right now. But yeah, I mean, like I was saying, the government is, there's a lot of action being taken place with the government. Like I said, there was war with Venezuela, or not war, but an active war, and there was bombs dropped, I guess. I don't pay attention, like I said. But um, there's, I mean, we're focusing on, something opposite of our homeland, another country's interest, in a sense, you it probably had something to do with a moral dilemma with Jupiter. Um, but yeah, anyway, just as a collective energy, though, we really need to come into balance with emotional and material security. Like, right now we want to maybe start budgeting. We got over the holidays, that's also another part of this aspect here with this opposition, um, that we need to realign our emotional security with our material security back together, and take action on it. And even if we have to give up, pleasures at Venus, to uh, bring in to bring this all into consciousness of the sun, to install it into our life force and spirit. So, and I really, like I said, I really like the trine and the sextile to the north node and the south node. It really kind of opens up a timeline to move forward in, but it's a process. This is a 2-week process, and to get to this new moon, to really get the clarity and the removal of subconscious patterns, to give things up and really start taking affirmative actions towards giving up the attachments or coming into moderation that we need in order to accomplish what it is that we want to be disciplined and responsible about. So anyway, that's what I got here for this Cancer full moon. And for all you, don't just take care, but give care too. And I'll see you next time.